Welcome everyone. Today's class is all about the air element and it corresponds to the heart chakra. So we're going to definitely do some postures which get into the thoracic spine, the chest, okay, and the shoulders. So if you've got a strap or a belt or a scarf or something similar, can you grab that now? And yeah, we're just going to take a few moments sitting to begin. So you might like to place the hands anywhere on your legs or perhaps over the heart. So just a moment to connect in. And the air element, obviously, very much tied to breath and prana. So take a few moments to deepen your breath. And almost as if you were breathing in and out of the heart, can you really expand into the chest with every inhalation? Encouraging softness and gentle expansion. And a mantra that I've been working with is, what would love say, or what would love do? So instead of operating from a place of fear or lack, leaning into expansion and love. Okay, and so as you rest your hands down, shrug your shoulders a few times. Circle your head, ease out any tension in the neck. And if it works, depending on how you're sitting, just start to circle around the pelvis, circling around like this. Yeah, and then change direction, go the other way. I can hear an alarm going off in the other room, so you can probably pick that up on the mic. Hopefully it will stop. Good. And then a little bit of forward and back movement. So you're just going to tilt your pubic bone forward and then tilt your tailbone under. So just moving in a way that wakes up the spine. Okay. Feeling a bit more height up through the crown of the head. Nice. And then we'll take a few stretches with the arms. Big breath in, arms up. Exhale slowly, hands down. Okay, do a couple more of those, inhaling the arms up. Beautiful. And then you can interlock your fingers and bring the arms forward so you feel like you're stretching the back of the heart. Okay. You might even play with turning the palms face out. So see which one feels better for you. Feeling that spaciousness in between the shoulder blades. Yeah, and then we're going to bring the hands behind the back. So you can either have your fingers on the floor or you can interlock your hands again, roll the shoulders back and lift the chest. And if it feels okay in the neck, tilt the chin up. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to do a little pranayama practice. This is great for bringing energy into the chest. You'll place your fingertips on your shoulders. I just should say that if this doesn't suit you, you can just do normal ujjayi breathing, okay? Bring your arms up to your shoulder height. And then we're going to take some fairly quick movements, twisting through the spine. And we'll start inhaling right, exhale left. And it's a little bit quicker, like Kapalabhati, okay? So through the mouth or through the nose. Okay, and then slowing down, and then we're going to go to the left first. So inhale, Okay. Rest the hands down on your legs, soften your shoulders, and just notice how you feel. Okay, and then we'll come up to standing. So if you've just joined, if you have a strap or a belt, that would be really helpful today. So yeah, we'll use that in a moment. We're going to start just with some stretches through raising the arms and forward bend. So put your feet under your hips, breathe in, arms up, exhale, bow forward. Inhale, take a half forward bend, put your hands on your shins. Exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Okay, pressing the feet down, so feeling grounded, lifting up through the top of the head. As you breathe in, stretch your arms up. Slow breath, exhale, forward bend. Now stay in the forward bend. Can you bring your hands behind your back and interlock your fingers? And if you can't hold your hands, you can hold the strap. Release the strap or the hands, bring the hands to the shins, take a half forward bend. Rather than straightening the legs, have a little bend in the knees, maybe a deep bend in the knees, and see if you can bring your chest further forward and up so you're coming up to a flat back shape. Then fold into the legs. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, bow, hands down. Okay, now as we're moving again, as you bend your knees, you're going to keep going through this sort of flat back shape, this hip hinge, rather than rounding. So let's bring a little bit more awareness to the back and to the chest. Inhale, raise the arms. We'll keep going with a flow. Exhale, forward bend. Bring the hands behind the back. Inhale, stretch the arms away from the back, but lift your chest as well off the thighs. Exhale, fold into the legs and maybe stretch the arms further away. Bring the hands to the shins, take an inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, fold. We're going to come all the way up, so bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, bow forward, that hip hinge, nice. Hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the chest a little bit. Exhale, fold, take the arms further away. Release the arms down, take an inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down. Grab your strap if you've got one. If you don't have a strap, you can stretch the arms like this. Okay, so you're going to take nice long length, straight arms, and you definitely want to make sure that you're feeling grounded through the legs. So you might have a little bend in the knees, pressing the feet down, lifting up tall through the head, or you can lock the knees out, but I prefer to have a slight bend, tailbone dropping down. And then we start to take the arms back. So you're going to have the arms straight, the strap nice and tight, and you might move your hands further away from each other if you want to take the arms back further. So just see how it feels. Okay, and then we'll come up and forward, and then we'll move with breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, back. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward. Slow breath, inhale. Exhale. Good. Okay, keep that nice. Lift up through the top of the head. One more. When you take the arms back this time, you might want to just pause there. So draw your belly in, no strain in the neck. Good, all the way up. And then you're going to take like a right angle here, so horizontal and vertical, and then take the horizontal arm back and then a little bit down. So that top arm is lifting up slightly more. Okay, and then switch. So straight out from the shoulder, back and down. Good, and then a little bend in the knees. So draw your belly in, drop your tailbone down, and just go slightly side to side. And see if that feels okay. If it's not feeling good with the strap, you can let the strap go down. Beautiful. And just loosen your grip on the strap. So we're going to do Gomukhasana arms, one arm up, one arm down. If you've got the strap and it feels helpful, you can hold the strap with the bottom arm. So this bottom arm turning palm back, bend the elbow. And if you haven't got a strap or you're not enjoying that bottom arm position, you can hold on to the top elbow with the opposite hand, okay? And then, yeah, just neck aligned. So head coming back. You might play with bringing that top arm in a bit. So smooth, steady breaths. Okay, really prioritize your breathing today. If I'm going too fast, slow it down. And let's try and bring the breath right into maybe the mid-lower chest. How does that feel? And if you were doing what love asked, you'd be kind to your body. Okay, so if you've had enough time on both sides, use that for a moment. Come to the top of the mat. Breathe in, raise your arms. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands down, come into cat pose. Spread your fingers. As you breathe in, you're going to lift your tail and move your chest forward and up. Okay, but you might want to also draw your navel to your spine, so there's that little bit of support for the back. As you breathe out, tuck your tail, round your back, opening up the back of the heart. And again, inhaling, arch, exhale, and round. Okay, now you might want to take your knees a bit wider. Bring your hips towards your heels, child's pose. Put your forearms on the floor, scoop your chest forward low, and then straighten your arms. As you breathe out, tuck your tail, bring your hips to your heels. As you inhale, scoop your chest forward. Exhale, tucking, hips to heels. Inhale, scoop forward. One more of those. Okay, then you're going to come onto your belly and bring your hands either side of your chest or your shoulders. The legs are grounding down, so feeling anchored. Roll the shoulders back away from the ears, lift the chest. Keep it low for the first one, just see how it feels. And as you come down again, let's lift again into Cobra pose. Beautiful, and then all the way down, and then briefly Shalabhasana. Bring the hands either side of the legs, the hips. You're lifting the legs, chest, and arms. And some of you might be able to interlock your fingers. Good. Bring the hands either side of the chest. Press back to kneeling. Come to child's pose first. Lift to all fours. Place the palms just in front of the shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Lift the hips into downward facing dog. And of course, you can take any alternatives if downward facing dog doesn't feel good for you this morning. So listen to your body, working from the heart and slowing the breath down so you can really pay attention to that quality of air, the quality of energy moving. Okay, step your right foot forward to come into a low lunge. Let's put the hands on the front leg. Lift up with the front hip, take the hips forward. Okay, so front pelvis lifting. Raise the arms. And if you've got any shoulder issues, you can do an alternative arm position. You might keep the hands down. And then you're going to imagine you're doing a pull-up. Press your forearms back and lift your chest forward and up. And the back of the head should feel like it's supported. Good, and maybe bringing those hips slightly further forward. Okay, hands down, briefly lifting right toes, bring hips back for runner's lunge. Rebend the right knee, come back into all fours or downward facing dog. Okay, left foot forward, right knee to the floor. Front pelvic rim lifting. Arms up, bend elbows, chest forward and up. But no strain. So can you breathe well? You may need to back off. Okay, hands down, lift your left toes, bring your hips back. Okay, let's bring the left knee back, stay in fours or pop into down dog. Make your way into a standing forward bend. Bend your knees, sweep the arms forward, come all the way up. Bring the hands in front of the heart. So now we're going to take some sun salutations and we'll add in a side bend and we'll also add in the hands behind the back. So if you are not comfortable with the hands interlocked, you could just stretch the arms away or you can leave the arms down. Okay? As you inhale, sweep the arms up. We'll take a side bend, so holding on to one of the forearms. Up on the inhale and over on the exhale. Good. All the way up, inhale. Exhale, bow forward. Bring the hands behind the back. Take an inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold in, bring the arms away from the back. Place the hands on the floor, step the left foot back, come into low lunge. As you inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, bend elbows, hips forward, chest lifting. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, hands down, step into plank pose. Inhale. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog or child. So remember, just take your time with this flow. Breathe in. Breathe out. If it's comfortable for you, you're going to lift your right leg into three-leg dog. Inhale. Exhale, right foot forward, left knee down. So same side. Inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, bend elbows. Inhale, arms up. Push firmly into the front foot. Exhale, hands down. Now we step forward. Bend your knees, will rise through chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, raise both arms for a side bend. Exhale, over. So slow breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, second side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward bend, hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the chest, your interlock fingers if you can. Exhale, fold into the legs. You've got your knees bent as much as you need. Put the hands down on the floor, step the right foot back, lower the right knee. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, bend elbows. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back to plank. You can skip the vinyasa at any point, inhaling. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift left leg, three-leg dog. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, raise arms. Exhale, bend elbows, hips forward, chest lifting. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Bend your knees, rise through chair pose. Inhale, reach. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, take a side bend. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, second side. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, forward bend, interlock the hands behind the back. Keep the knees as bent as needed. Inhale, lift the chest a little up. Exhale, fold, bring the arms further away from the back. Hands on the floor, step back to a plank pose. Inhale. Exhale to the floor or low plank through to up dog. So cobra or up dog. Pause in whichever back bend you've chosen. Chest lifting, shoulder blades sliding down the back, collarbones widening. Good, now move back into child's pose. And then come forward to lie on the belly and place the forearms on the floor in front of you. The forearms are pressing down and shoulder blades sliding down the back. Lift your chest. This is Sphinx pose, such a beautiful back bend. And just check in with your lower back so you can feel like you're lifting up with the abdominal muscles, draw the belly in, lengthen back with the tail. Okay, all the way down to the floor, hands either side of hips, lift legs, lift chest, locust pose. So you're just reaching your hands back. Start with the palms turned down and then just slightly spin your palms to face out so the thumbs turn a little bit up. I've got a strong back. Good. Bring the hands either side of the chest. Push back to kneeling, downward facing dog. Right leg in the sky, three-leg dog. This time, arms strong and straight. Bend right knee, bring heel in towards your bum and turn the pelvis to the right. So just that turn at the hips. As you exhale, step the right foot forward, turn the left heel down to warrior two. And bring the arms out, side, side. Good. Okay, turn the front palm up, reach up the front hand, draw belly in, drop your tail down. Lower the front forearm to the leg and lift your back arm up. Press firmly through the back foot. Reach with those left fingers. Can you turn your chest up a little bit more? Good. Now as you sweep the left hand down to the floor under the left shoulder, lift the left heel And then we're going to take a twist to the right. So turn the chest, right hand on right thigh or right arm up. Nice strong back leg, reach back with your left heel, hug in your right hip. Both hands to the floor, step back, come into down dog first and then make a choice. You can rest, you can stay in down dog, or you can rock forward to plank. Exhale very slowly through chaturanga and either to the floor or into upward facing dog. Yeah, and just taking those extra moments in the back bend. Lift the hips, roll over the toes, down dog. Okay, side two, left leg in the sky, three-leg dog. Bend the knee, turn your pelvis to the left, and you might want to anchor down with the right heel as much as you can, and also firmly spreading fingers and press hands down. So as you lift your left thigh and left knee a little bit higher, you're turning the pelvis open to the left, tailbone lengthening, belly drawing in. Good. As you breathe out, left foot forward, right heel down, warrior two. Okay, nice wide breaths into the chest as you lift your left hand, reach up and breathe and feel space in the left side. Bring your left forearm to your left thigh, stretch the right arm up, root down with the right foot. Feel that little twist as you turn your chest slightly up. Good. And then we're going to take the right hand to the floor, lift the right heel, and turn chest to left, lift left arm up. So you could use a block under your right hand if that helps. Could also drop your right knee, but if you can keep that back knee up, working the legs, reach back with the heel. Good. Take the hands down, step back into plank. You could skip the vinyasa if you need to, otherwise exhaling. So it might be knees down first, modified chaturanga, then into cobra or up dog. Rolling back into down dog. Okay. From down dog, inhale. Exhale, walk forward. We'll stay in the forward bend for a few moments. So keep the knees bent if you need to. You want your sitting bones to be tilted up. So if the hamstrings are tight, you're going to bend your knees more deeply and feel that little rotation forward with the pelvis. Okay. Now you might be able to straighten your legs a little bit more over time. Relax the head down. And again, you can bring the hands behind the back and interlock the fingers. Or maybe grab your strap if you have it nearby. Beautiful. Now release the hands, bend your knees deeply, rise through chair pose. And bring the hands down. Just notice how you feel. You can place a hand over the heart. Deep breaths into the heart. So remembering to find steadiness with that energy of the earth, giving yourself permission to play, to flow with the energy of water. Perhaps that little bit of determination and focus with the fire element. And then an element of softness and inner inquiry and listening, very much characterized by the air element. Okay, as you inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands down, come into a kneeling pose. So all fours. And then put your forearms on the floor. So we'll start in cat pose with the forearms. Now your elbows want to be shoulder width. I'm going to suggest you have your forearms like parallel, but you could also bring your hands together if that's helpful. And then you're going to draw your belly up. And rather than really tucking the tail under, just use the abdominal muscles, but feel your tail go back, pubic bone go back, tuck your toes, lift your knees, and we come into forearm down dog. So if your hamstrings are tight, you'll keep your knees bent. I'm also aware that I've got long arms, so it makes this pose a little easier because my head easily comes off the floor. So you're just going to play with it. You might look forward, you might be able to look back. And those of you who have perhaps a little bit more flexibility in the legs, in the backs of the legs, you can play with walking your feet forward and actually really finding that sort of downward facing dog position. Good. And then as you walk your feet back, come all the way down to lie on the belly for Sphinx pose. Beautiful. And you can stay in Sphinx or lift your hips, lift your belly, tuck your toes, forearm plank. Front ribs hugging up, tail moving back, thighs engaged. Good, all the way down. Hands alongside the hips, lift everything up, locust pose. Don't lift the chin too high, look down, lengthen the neck. Again, perhaps you're interlocking your fingers for a breath or two. Okay, hands alongside the chest, lift the hips, down dog, and child's pose is always there as an option. Okay, one leg down dog if you can do it, right leg in the sky. Turn the hips, bend the knee. Anchor through the left foot. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, step it forward, warrior two. Beautiful. Now we're going to straighten the front leg and come into triangle pose. So for many of us, that back foot is coming in a little bit and you're turning the back foot slightly further forward. And then we move into half moon pose. So after triangle pose, half moon pose. So if you want to move to the wall or to a prop for that, you can do it. So as you hinge from your right hip, keep the right leg strong, reach out with the right hand, bring the right hand down, left arm up. So there's that beautiful opening and expanding across the chest. And if for any reason the left hand needs to stay on the hip, on the waist, you can still feel that spaciousness across the chest. Okay, loosen the jaw, soften your face. Okay, and then we come into half moon. So left hand on the hip, look forward, bend your right knee, and do check in with your energy today. So remember, what would love do? If you're not punishing yourself, if you're not needing to fix anything, you're going to move in ways that make your body feel more vibrant, more alive. And of course, nourishing yourself with deeper breaths. And those of you in half moon, bend your left knee. Can you catch the foot? So if you hold the foot with the left hand, you can choose to hold the outside of the foot or maybe the inside of the foot. And we have the same thing as we did in down dog, one leg down dog, where you're drawing the navel to the spine, lengthening tail. Good. Both feet to the floor, standing forward bend. And then step back to down dog. And we'll skip the vinyasa. Instead, lift left leg, three-leg dog. Bend the knee, turn the hip. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, step forward. We turn the right foot slightly forward for warrior two. Straighten the left leg, move the right foot in, triangle pose, reach forward. And then again, options with the arms. So even if the arms are not reaching wide, got that sense of stretching out from the center of the heart all the way out through the chest, across the arms. Good, let's move into half moon. So look forward, lift the back foot. So make it work for you. And if there's no breath, the pose is pretty uneventful, okay? There's no vibrancy, there's no prana if there's no breath. So if you can hold the back foot just as we did on the other side, you might hold the inside of the foot. Gorgeous. And then when you release to a standing forward bend, just notice how that feels. Softening the back. Okay, so step back to down dog, well done. And then come forward to plank, slowly lower to your belly. Bring your forearms to the floor in front of you. Sphinx pose. Beautiful. Now you can lift your hips and come into forearm plank. And then option to walk the feet forward and come into dolphin pose. And you might play, if you're moving towards doing Pincha Mayurasana, you might play with lifting one leg and the other leg. And if you were going to attempt the forearm balance, you may want to move to a wall, and it's that kicking up, definitely looking forward, looking between the forearms. And if you're not taking the forearm balance, you come down onto your belly and we'll move the hands further forward for cobra pose. Just check in, the shoulders want to slide away from the ears. Good. And then when you come down, amazing. Just bring the hands back either side of the chest. Child's pose. Okay, so come to a kneeling position. And then we'll take camel first. Yeah, you want to have your knees under your hips and your tail rooting down. And we've got this strong belly drawing in, tail down, armpits lifting, chest lifting. So all we're going to do is breathe in and take the arms up. And exhale, bring the hands back down, maybe in front or maybe to the hips. Inhale the arms up. And exhale. So the lower back wants to feel really well supported. Okay. And then we'll play with camel variations. So you can either keep your hands on your pelvis, lift the chest, really dropping tailbone down, lifting up with the front. Or if you're going for the feet, tucking the toes makes it easier. You can reach one arm back, second arm back. And how Does the head want to be looking forward or up? When you come out of camel pose, use the chest, forward and up with the chest, using your belly. And then we'll sit back on the heels, unless your knees are not happy with that. And just cross the hands across the chest. Check your energy, notice how that feels. So drop the tailbone down to bring more space to the lower back. So if you can reach the hands to the floor, and if this kneeling position is okay for your knees, you're going to scooch your tailbone under and press the hips forward and up. Yep. Good. And then we come down. And then if your knees are happy, you come into pigeon pose. And if you need to come onto your back for thread needle pose, that's all fine. My right knee is forward, my left leg is back. But if you're doing the other side, that's completely fine. And so actually here, I want to focus on trying to lift that back foot off the floor. So if you've got a sensitive knee, you can obviously keep your knee down, or you can put some more padding underneath your left knee. All right. So just like we were doing in cobra pose and all of the back bends, lift up with the belly, lengthen forward through the spine. You can bring your hands forward or your forearms to the floor. And as you bend your left knee, the foot comes in. Okay. So you can catch hold with the left hand, or we're going to twist. So the left forearm across the mat, right hand holds the foot. So I'm aware that you may not be able to catch hold of the foot, but you can just bring the foot in towards your bum. And release that side, put the hands down. Come back into down dog. Bring your left or the opposite knee forward and the leg back. So I'm moving pretty quickly now through these postures, but if you want to spend a little bit more time, that's fine. So navel up, arms forward. So rather than just kind of flopping down, you're just creating that space through the lower back. And if you're taking the twisting version, the right forearm comes across the mat. Left hand holds right foot. Good. So release when you're ready. Bring the hands back and move into down dog. Okay, so one more variation to stretch into the thighs. Your right foot forward, left knee down. And if you can't do this, like if that back knee is going to grumble, then you can stand up and do this. Okay, knee dropping down. Rather than the knee coming out to the side, try and keep the knee directly underneath. And this sense of lifting up the front and gathering the belly in. And if you're fine here with the low lunge, you can put hand on the front leg, lift up the back foot, and you might be able to hold with the same side hand, so left hand, left foot, but please, sorry. She's so noisy. Be kind to that knee, all right? Luckily, I've got people in the house, so they can deal with that. Okay, release, beautiful. Let's take the second side. Okay. And again, maybe you're going to get the hand, right foot. Yeah, so just plenty of kindness to that knee. Okay, so have you done long enough on both sides? Okay, so coming into a kneeling position and just roll the shoulders a few times. Okay, we're going to come onto our back and we'll do bridge pose and then maybe into wheel pose. We've done quite a lot of arms overhead today. We've also practiced this one, Gomukhasana arms, that all lead quite nicely towards wheel. If you're not doing wheel, we'll start with bridge. And if you need to take a more restorative bridge, then use some blocks or some cushions to prop the hips on, okay? So the heels are reasonably close to the pelvis. We'll start with bridge anyway, lifting your pelvis up and perhaps bringing your shoulders under. Don't let the knees go too wide. So bring the upper thighs, bring the inner thighs in. And we've done this so many times today, but you might be interlocking your fingers behind your back. Okay, those of you taking wheel pose, the action is hip flexors are pulling, so the hips are moving towards the head. And if the knees go way forward of the ankles, it's really difficult to do this pose effectively. So if you're coming into wheel, you might actually start from bridge first, but have the hands alongside the ears before you lift. You're going to lift your hips, lift up to the top of the head, and then sometimes we need to reposition the hands a bit further out. So you can push firmly into the arms, but also that pulling feeling through the hip flexors. Okay, so I'm going to give you some time. I'll have a look at what you're doing. And if you have any questions, you can definitely unmute and ask me. So in bridge or wheel, this back bend really supported by the back, the inner thighs coming in. Notice your breath. Deepen the breath at the chest. I'm going to take a little bit more time with those back bends for those who are still working through wheel or bridge. And when you've completed the back bends, just rest your feet on the floor, your pelvis on the floor, and then you choose to either take the feet wide on the mat, knock the knees together, or take the feet together on the mat and let the knees come out wide. And then either arms at your sides or out to the sides, or you might bring a hand on the heart, hand on the belly. Taking some soft breaths. Acknowledge what you've done and what you've accomplished. Good. And now let's straighten the left leg. Bend the right knee and bring it in towards your chest. And start to take the right knee over to the left side as you reach your right arm out to the right side. One more breath here, just as you soften the shoulder. Bring the leg back up to the center. Stretch the right leg. You might want to shift your hips slightly left. Bend the left knee in towards the chest. Use your right hand to bring the knee across. Reach your left arm out. And so the lovely thing about this position, one leg straight, one knee bent, is you don't need to go too far. So you can keep the shoulder towards the floor. Good. And then as you take your last breath in the twist, make your way back to center. And then what do you need? Knees to chest or happy baby pose. And whichever one you're in, knees to chest or happy baby, just feel like your shoulder blades can widen a bit on the floor. You can really feel that space between the shoulder blades. Yeah, so make the shoulder blades a bit wider. And then you can kind of rock slightly side to side. So kind of massaging out the mid and upper back. Beautiful. So find a posture to rest. So if it feels really cranky in your back to have your legs straight, then just bend your knees. And even better if you've got a cushion to put under the backs of the knees. And of course, if you want to sit up and do a meditation, that's also fine. And the invitation is to keep the arms wherever it feels good for you. You may wish to have a hand on the heart. So allow the weight of the body to settle down to the support below. Bring your awareness to your breath. Now, without over exerting your breath, breathe in and bring the breath all the way down into the lower chest, making space, making space. Sinking into these two qualities of softness and openness. And the invitation is, as you soften your body and soften your breath, you also soften the mind and soften any harsh judgments, any holding patterns, mental tension. So you can be soothed by the breath. Okay, and then beginning to deepen the breath. Feel the whole body and begin to stretch out gently your fingers, your toes. Good, and might feel amazing to have a big stretch. So if you're lying down and you want to bend your knees, perhaps make your way to your side. Okay, so if you are sitting, you choose to have the hands perhaps in your lap or over the heart. And remember to breathe well today. If you feel tension creeping in, pause, soften. Reflect on this practice. And perhaps consider the day ahead or the weekend ahead. And you might like to use the mantra, what would love do, as you make your choices about how you move forward. So thank you all for sharing. Have a beautiful day.